I'm be real with you. Most people suck at understanding why they're good at stuff. And when it comes to poker, it is absolutely bananas how bad people are at understanding how the fundamentals work of the game and how to then extrapolate that information and put it into a teaching format. What you're about to see today isn't going to be talking about frequencies and blockers. We're not going to be talking about range merging analysis, backlogs, and unblocking, whatever. We're going to be talking about hardcore nitty-gritty concepts of range analysis and exploiting range inelasticity of players. This is concordant with reality. This is person against person. It's not machine versus machine up in theory world fantasy land. This is really important concept to understand, and it's a little excerpt of what I teach over at epiphanypoker.com. If you like what you see, go check it out. Peace. We're blind versus blind, ranges are wide. We've opened the small blind, 200 big blinds deep. And this is a cash game. Yeah. In 200 zoom. 876, heart, diamond. Wet as board. What are we gonna do with 10-9 of hearts? Let's have the super nuts. Alright, we have 10-9 of hearts. We've opened blind versus blind. There's 6 big blinds in the middle because we opened 3x. What are we doing and why? Yeah, so GTO nerds. 200 big blinds deep. So I think there are 3 options there. The first option, check raise, which intuitively to me is like the first thing that my brain would say in these spots, because this just smashes him. You know, he's got all the 10-9s, which we have crushed. He's got all the 4-5 suited. He's got 9-5 suited, probably full frequency at 200 deep. He's got pocket 8s sometimes, pocket 7s sometimes, pocket 6s probably all the time. He's got the 2 pairs. It's definitely something that he's going to be betting a decent amount. If we check to, he's going to have a lot of just like random stabs. The downside to checking, there's certain types of hands that we're worried that he might check back. There's actually a couple of very particular types of hands that I'm a little bit worried about. First one, pair and straight draw hands. 6-7 definitely could check back, but probably not. So I'm a little bit worried about 5-6, 9-7, 9-6. 7-5. There's a lot of those hands, and blind versus blind when you have offsuit combinations of a bunch of these. Actually, not too many when it's this kind of low board. You don't have like 9-6 off or anything like that. If it's a high board, it's much more of a thing. It sucks because they will call a large bet. They'll call basically any size, but they will also check back. The second types of hands is something like ace-5 of hearts. God damn it sucks if they check those behind. So that's the downside to check raising. The benefit to check raising versus betting big, the idea is we could bet 5 big blinds and he calls and now there's like 16 in the middle. Or, you know, let's say he's got like 8-6 suited and now, you know, reasonably big pot. Or we check, he bets something like 4 big blinds and we can make a huge motherfucking raise. It's going to make the pot exponentially bigger. So this is why intuitively I'd still hit the check button in this exact spot. Because when he does decide to bet and he turns up with one of these hands that we just have drawing very, very thin, we get to build a ginormous pot. We're going to hit the check button. Our villain bets, let's call it 4 big blinds. So the question is, what are we trying to get value from? And the answer is a lot of the pair and straight draws, all of the 2 pairs, all of the sets, all of the straights. And some of like the flush draws as well. There's actually a lot of like very powerful flush draws in these kind of boards. You got the pair and the flush draws, you got the open ender and the flush draws, you got the other open ender and the flush draws, you got the nut flush draws. There's a lot of very powerful flush draws that we're just gonna keep calling. Do we want to target 9-8? Probably, yeah. Let's go. He's bet. You know, he's checking behind a lot of these pair and straight draws anyways. So let's just go 200 big blinds deep. Let's just stack his 2 pairs. Let's just stack his sets. Let's just stack his other straights. Let's just do it. You know, if he wants to call us down some combo draw, flush draw hand, we're not even that happy about it, but you know, whatever, you do it, my friend. What's the biggest size we can go without looking ridiculously conspicuous? Like making it ridiculously obvious. What's the biggest size that we can go at? I'm feeling 21. I don't know why 21 just feels even smaller than 20 in this spot. I don't get it. I don't make the rules. It just does, man. So we're going the small side of 21. Our opponent is going to hit the call button. There is now 48 big blinds in the middle. The turn, I believe I said, was going to be the 4 of diamonds. So what is our opponent's range and what are we going to do about it? We've just check raised really big. The small size of 21. So we know he's got a pretty strong range, right? And we know what GTO players love to do with strong ranges. They love to cool down. They just love it. They're inelastic as f. They're like, any size you want, my friend, my stack is yours waiting for you. Just don't be too greedy. And it's all yours. 39 big blinds there, so it's 48 in the middle. We're looking at a range of 2 pairs, sets, more straights now. He can have like king 5 of hearts, ace 5 of hearts if that bets the flop, which he probably does. He can have like 10, no, we have the 10 hearts. He can have jack 5 of hearts, queen 5 of hearts. He's got some hands that are not going anywhere no matter what you bet. He's got some 9-5s in there that are probably just going to jam turns anyway. Again, we're in value bet. We're in value bet mode. We're not thinking, what do our bluffs want to do here? We're not thinking, what does our range want to do here? Completely fucking irrelevant stuff. We're thinking, what do we want to do here with 10-9 of hearts specifically? Let's go through a few hands and tell me how much you think he'll cause. 48 big blinds in the middle. We still have 176 big blinds behind. How much would he call with 7-6 offsuit, 7-6 offsuit, which he probably defends 200 deep at full frequency? It's got the 9 combinations of 7-6. He's definitely going to call more than 55%. Probably around like 39 big blinds. Sounds like a good one, man. Sounds like a good one. He's got boat outs. Like he ain't going nowhere. You know, he's still got some boat outs. Maybe a little bit of that. All right, now let's say he's got jack 5 of hearts. He's got jack 5 of hearts. He just decided to call pre. He's like, I'll stab the flop. What's the worst that can? Check raise. Turn 4. He's like, he ain't going nowhere. What's the maximum jack 5 of hearts will call here? I don't think it would call a shove. So there's going to be a number. I'd fold. But I'm not a normal GTO player. But I just don't think it would. He's definitely calling more than 44 to 47 big blinds. It's definitely calling 100 big blinds. So king 5 of hearts, queen 5 of hearts, jack 5 of hearts, 4-5 of hearts. They're all probably going to call at least 100 big blinds. So that's interesting to know. We've got, you know, the 2 pairs will probably call like 70%, 75%, who knows, something like that. 5 hex of hearts are just going to call millions. What do we think he'll do with king 9 of diamonds? It's not like the most ludicrous hand to bet call against this size. It's probably too loose, but I wouldn't be surprised if somebody does it. He's got the flush draw. He's got the open-ended. Probably calls like 55 big blinds, 60 big blinds, something like that. So again, this is just us stretching the muscle of our assumptions of how GTO players are playing, and then we're going to use this beautiful tool of understanding their inelasticity, understanding their tendencies of only ever turning up with bluffs or only ever turning up with value hands in these exact spots. Do we want to try and get value from his 2 pairs? How many combos are there? Does he call 8-6 off pre? Probably. 200 deep. Those hands start going up a little bit in value. 7-8 off, 7-6 off. Yeah. There's a lot of these combos, man. There's a lot of these combos. Do we want to try and target these 2 pairs? 8-7, 8-6, and 7-6. 27 combos. And then how many combos of sets has he got? Let's say 8s and 7s at half frequency, and 6s at full frequency. So it's, you know, 6 combos. Not many combos of sets, so probably don't want to be caring too much about that. What about, you know, the 5Xs of the world? Not many combos of that. Intuitively, I'm feeling these 2 pairs. I'm digging these 2 pairs, man. Alright, just combos wise, we could break it down if we wanted, but there's just 27 combos of 2 pairs in here that wanna get juiced. Now the downside to betting smaller is that when he does have hands that have equity against us, it's not like we have them drawing dead. You know, if he does have king 9 of diamonds, you know, if he does have sets or whatever, you know, we're giving him a better price. So it's definitely not a black and white situation here. And again, if anybody tells you they think they know what the right answer is, they have no fucking idea. Could definitely bet something like 35 big blinds to juice those 2 pairs, or we could bet something like whatever a set's gonna call, so like 100 big blinds. 34 big blinds to go, my friends. That's what we're landing on. He hits the call button. We have 116 big blinds in the middle. 142 behind. I think a brick's pretty interesting. Alright, so king of spades on the river. You guys want to shove? What about his 2 pairs, man? You guys see an over pot size bet with the nuts in the river, you're like, let's easily just shove. Because that's what everyone always does, innit? What about the 2 pairs? We bet a size on the turn, he's gonna be shoving his 9-5s. But he does still have his 5x. That's the problem. He has his 5x, and he has his 2 pairs, and he has his sets. We ain't checking. That's stupid. 5x. How much will it call? Yes, all of it. Of course, it calls the shop. Calls 142. We have 2 pairs. How much will it call? We have to understand that a lot of our perceived bluffs missed it, by the way. So we can go a little bit bigger. I think something like 45 big blinds is a pretty safe one. Sets. How much are we expecting him to call? Both flush draws just missed. Let's call it 65 and move on with our lives. Doesn't actually matter. So let's do some maths. How many combinations of 5x are there? Ace 5 of hearts, 1. King 5 of hearts, 2. Queen 5, Jack 5. We block the others. 6 5, 4 5, 3 5. Probably. We got 7 combos. 2 pairs. Well, we already figured that out. Let's say he's got 27 combos. You know, you look at the 8, you look at the 7, and we're trying to work out 8 7. Usually there's 16 combos of an offsuit hand. Now there's an 8 and a 7 gun. Now you just do 3 times 3, which is 9. So there's 9 of 7 8, and there's 9 of 7 6. There's 9 of 8 6. So we have 27 of these. So we're counting sets. We said that 7s and 8s are going to be 3-betting half the time. So only 1.5 of each of these. So 1.5 plus 1.5 is 3. Now we're going to give 3 of these. 6 combos. If we bet all in, we would go and get value from 7 combinations. We would get 7 times 142. 994. That's how many big lines we can get a value of this. Now, if we have sets and we have 6 combinations, if we bet 65 big blinds, we're getting value from these 6 combinations and also these 7 combinations. So that's 13 times 65. Boom. 845. We have 2 pairs. We're saying 27 combos. We're giving him full frequency of all of these. So I think it's a very, very reasonable thing to do. So it's 27 combinations. We'd also get the 45 big blinds from the sets and from the 5x. I don't think they're going to raise if we bet that small on the river. In fact, they're definitely not. We have 27 plus 6 plus 7, 40 times 45, 1800. So 45 big blinds, make sure I'm doing this right, of the combos of 27 plus 6 plus 7, which is 40. 40 times 45 is indeed 1800. Even I've got to be honest, even I'm surprised about this. So yeah, I guess the answer is bet 45 big blinds, guys. Get value from these 2 pairs, because you're getting value from so many more combos of things. Intuitively, pretty sure most poker players in the world do want to shove river. And we just did some very simple maths in a spot that was actually very illustrative, and found out that shoving would actually be a huge punt. So this is the value of counting combos. Obviously, you can't do this in game. It's not always going to be that black and white, but when you get the chance, go dig into it. The concepts that you really want to extract from these lessons are the inelasticity of game theory oriented players, and of players in general, but specifically game theory oriented players, meaning that you want to be betting small on flops with a lot of your bluffs and big on flops with a lot of your value hands, because of the second concept, the power of the exponentials. The third concept, fuck balance, you already know that from me. But really try and put yourself in the mindset of, this is what I'm doing with this specific hand, and this is what my opponent is how my opponent is gonna react against this specific hand. Fourth concept is make sure it's not conspicuous, make sure it's not obvious, keep people within their wheelhouse of how they normally think about poker. Because if we check raise that flop like 7x, people are gonna be like, oh whoa, that's probably never a bluff, which is true. But if we check raise at a normal size, like 21 from 4, people are going to be thinking, okay, it's probably got some kind of bluffing range there, which we don't. So we're keeping them on their toes. We're keeping them thinking that we're balanced when we're not. You have to understand which sizes they expect you to turn up with in which spots when you're playing against these game theory players. Otherwise, they'll start being able to make some reads, and you don't want them to be in the mindset where they're making reads. We want them to be playing without even thinking about it. maybe the fifth concept, sorry, is categorizing the different hands in all of these different spots and understanding how much all of these things will call. And the last spot is when you get to these river spots and you actually get to calculate like we just did, it ain't intuitive to a lot of people. You know, it ain't intuitive that it's by far superior to target the 2 pairs on that river just purely because of how many combos there are. So it's definitely worth thinking about. It's definitely worth calculating. It's definitely worth putting a lot of time into.